Are you kidding me? Did I just do that? Yes, I did. Can you just put them together? No. So we can't just combine them regular. But you're saying, is there some way to get the x's together anyway? I guess so. Because we have to have one. I mean, you have to have x equals, not x equals x. That's craziness. So we want to get x by itself just showing one time. What do you guys think? Can we cancel maybe one of the x's from one side? Like the entire piece? Yeah, you can do anything to both sides, can't you? So we can't just combine these things. But we know that we have to just have one x, because the idea is to get the x by itself. So we've got to get it together. So we're going to look at just these pieces and say, you know what, I want this stuff to join together. But it's got that equals in the middle. That's kind of a big deal. How do I, for example, get rid of a 5x? If I wanted to get rid of that one, how would I do that? Now be careful. If I divided by 5, what would it do? Would it cancel the x or just the 5? It would just tear the 5 off, wouldn't it? Because it's working on the joint between the x and the 5, right? But when I look at this thing, if I look at the entire piece, the piece is attached by an and, is it a positive or a negative piece? So if I want to kill the entire thing, x included, the opposite of a positive 5x is a negative 5x. So I didn't want to just tear off the 5, so I wasn't looking at how those two were attached. I'm looking at how the entire piece, the 5x together, was attached to the problem. And it was attached with an and. I've got that plus in between there. So I just look at the plus, do minus on both sides. That was probably the trickiest thing you're going to see tonight, just so you guys know. Let's try what we've got. Let's see, 4, bring down that equals. We have a 6. 10 minus 5, what is it? Positive or negative? Huh. So we can't combine things just like by putting like terms together, but we can definitely cancel one of them, which is the same thing, just moves it to the other side, kind of. But when it goes to the other side, it just turns to negative. Okay. Whichever way you want to think about it. You can think of it as just move it to the other side, make it negative. That's okay with me. Or you can think of it as technically you're subtracting 5x on both sides. However you like to think of it. Some people, especially other countries, tend to just say, move it over, change the sign. I'm okay with that. To get x by itself, we start with what's least attached. What is it? You got it. It's that 6. So we'll say minus 6. Do the same thing to both sides. 4 minus 6 gives me negative 2. I have 5x left over. Now what? Good. Divide by your 5. Good. So x is equal to negative 2/5. Is it okay that I just defaulted to writing x like that on the left? Sure. Equal sign is the same on both sides, isn't it? It's not like there's inequalities where it matters which side's showing on which. It's the same thing. Equals is equals. Doesn't matter how you write it. I'm going to work 2 more things with you now, and then you guys will have some lab time to work on harder stuff, okay? I'm not going to work a lot with decimals, but not much harder. You'll like it. You'll be okay. In fact, if you guys want, after I work these next 2 problems, if you want me to keep working for another little while since you already had some lab, you can do that too. I just think you're almost ready, and I don't want to bore you out of your mind if it's boring you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do this one. Yes, I'm still going to do this one. Okay, example. This is from the text. Four plus 5 times 2x minus 3 equals 3 times 4x minus 1. And you know what? Don't cheat and look in your book, but I want you guys to start trying to work this thing out. What's the first thing it kind of looks like you need to do before you can start solving for x? Distribute. Simplify, right? So if you need to distribute. If you need to put like terms together, have fun with that. Basically, clean this up before you start getting stuff by itself. So I'll let you guys clean house. Simplify by breaking down those parentheses, right? I mean, if you could put stuff together in the parentheses, that's what order of operations says. But since you can't, the only way to deal with those parentheses that are number one priority is to go ahead and distribute. So we'll share the 5. Now notice something, I saw this on the test. You can only distribute over a minus or a plus. Don't distribute over divide and stuff like that. That's not the same thing. It only has to be a plus or a minus between the two pieces you're sharing around. Let's see, 5 times 2 gives me 10x. 5 times negative 3, negative 15. I'll bring down my 4. Okay, same thing other side. 3 times 4 sounds like a 12 to me. Let's keep that x on there. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. Let's simplify more. So let's continue to look just at the left or just at the right, okay? So don't try to go over that equals. For right now, just focus on one side. Clean that up first. On the left-hand side, can I put stuff together? Hopefully you're thinking yes to yourself. I have like terms. I mean, they're just numbers, but they're like terms. So we have a negative 15 and a 4. What do we get? Do you want to put the negative one before or after 10x, or do you care? Here, I'll write 10x minus 1 equals. It doesn't actually matter, does it? You could have also said negative 1 plus 12x. Who cares?
That's the negative of that.
Yes, thank you. I was just checking that. Okay, negative 11. Okay, now we've done all that we can do on the left, ignoring the right, and all that we can do on the right, ignoring the left, right? Okay, well, before we can do much else, we need to get our x's together, right? Which one would you like to move? 10, okay. You can either think of it as that you're just moving it and changing the sign, so minus 10x, right? Or you can say to yourself, oh, this piece is a positive piece. What kills it is negative 10x. Do the same thing both sides, and you'll still get a negative 10x on the right, won't you? This cancels. So I get negative 11 equals 12x. I guess I'm going to write it out since I wrote it kind of funny. What is 12x and negative 10x? I don't like them. Sorry, I'm going to have to fix it. Okay, the 12x and the 10x, or negative 10x, what do I get? 2x. Minus 3. I was encouraging one method too much. That's why I didn't write it out like that. Again, what you saw me do in the past is I had put that negative 10x on the bottom right below 12x. That's how I usually stay neat. But I was wanting people to see that there are 2 ways to do it. Some people, I've seen other students who just pull it over like that and make it negative, and that's okay too. Okay, Malika, what's your question? And does anybody else, while I'm waiting for her to type in her question, have questions or comments right now? Are we okay so far? So we got the x's on the same side. That was our objective. Okay, just write it down, and you turn it in with your test. So log, for example, what time you came and what time you logged out, and the date. Okay, you guys okay that we get x's together on the same side? Leon, how you feeling? You okay? Okay. So I want x alone still. Now I've gotten it at least down to one side. I start with what's least attached. That is negative 3, so I'm going to plus 3. To cancel it, same thing both sides. So I always focus my work around wherever that x is. That's where I start canceling stuff off. Okay, so let's see, negative 11 and a positive 3. Negative 8 equals 2x. It's attached by multiply, so the opposite of multiply is divide. What's x equal to? You got it. Good. I want you guys to see a word problem or two before I give it to you in homework. So why don't you take like a 5-minute break, and then I'll show you like another problem or two right after, and then you can have lab time.